There it is. All right, folks. Well, welcome. Welcome to the tasting Beauj 2026 tasting number 9, or the second live or second Zoom tasting of Beauj 2026. We are tasting this bottle today, 2023 Godard Corcelette Morgon. Very excited about this bottle. It is something that I've been on a hunt for years. Got on my radar after our own Charles Collins Chase put me on radar about this producer, and I've been kind of chasing this producer for a number of years, but stars never aligned. It was either we just didn't have enough of it in DC. One vintage, it was a 2021 vintage, which is a really hard vintage for a lot of producers in France, but particularly Beaujolais, and the wine just wasn't quite good. So yeah, anyways, all those things finally, after 3 years of trying, we are able to actually get it. And then the wine, I think the wines are drinking beautifully right now. And it's I kind of see the hype, why she was getting a lot of these accolades and a lot of these recognition. Yeah, it's a serious wine. It's a really well made wine. But anyways, so let's get into it. Start with the map, as we always do. Did Zoom recently change their thing? I'm having a hard time figuring out what the fuck is happening. All right, here we go. All right. So here's a map of France. Should look pretty familiar by this point. You guys have seen this many, many times. We're right here, right? Beaujolais, this little light pink area, the southern tip of Burgundy is where we are. If you look a little more closely. So we've been kind of traveling our way down, and we are in Morgon, which is this kind of red area. And as you can see, it's one of the bigger crews. I believe it's the second largest. Yeah, it is the second largest crew of them all, only after Brewery, which is the orange region. But yeah, so pretty sizable. But it is perhaps the most celebrated of the crews. It's kind of like the birthplace of the, the modern day natural winemaking. We've talked about Gang of Four, those Marcel Lapierre, Jean Foyard, Guy Breton, Jean-Paul Thevenet, those guys. Those are all Morgon producers. Obviously, there were a lot more producers besides those four guys who were doing, minimum intervention, going back to organic farming, chemical-free farming, and all of that. But those four, became the poster boys, right? Because the Kermit Lynch started bringing them in, really took off and really put Beaujolais on the map. And those were all Morgon producers. All four of those guys were Morgon producers. So because of that, Morgon is kind of a epicenter in terms of or I wouldn't say epicenter. It's kind of like the mecca, I guess I should say, for the natural wine heads or natty heads, just because that's the birthplace of modern day natural winemaking. What makes Morgon unique is the presence of volcanic soil. So these red kind of a pinkish kind of color that runs through, that's granite all through the crews of Beaujolais. But if you look at Morgon more particularly, it has a lot of that as well, but it also has a smattering of literature that's a bluestones, which is a kind of different kind of a granite. Is in there, but really this section right here is the most prized part of Morgon, and this green part is the volcanic soil. And you see that in different parts of Beaujolais, right? Like Juliana has a ton of that volcanic soil running through, right? Saint-Amour obviously has some as well. The Morgon, this is the Côte de Pie and Corcelette area, which has a lot of volcanic soil. And then Côte de Bruy has a lot of volcanic soil. And, we haven't gotten to Côte de Bruy yet, but if you remember back to Juliana, and these are kind of the things that pop out, right? Like whenever you go to these really highly volcanic soil grounds, the fruit profile changes a bit here. Juliana is much darker, the kind of blacker fruit, much more structured, more tannin and things like that. The same thing is true with the Morgon, especially when it comes from this volcanic part, which is where Côte de Pie and Corcelette is. Can't really see. The Corcelette is not written out here. But you see, this is Cote de P, which is the most well-known, probably, Ludi of them all. But yeah, so this is where the sits on the kind of lower slope of the mixture of schist, manganese-rich volcanic soil, and there's some clay here, which helps it with really the plush kind of expression of the fruit. So all that mixture here is what really makes Morgon special, particularly this area where this is. So Corcelette is just north of Cote de P, but it's still on the volcanic soil right here. In fact, I actually have hold on, I gotta pull this up. I should have pulled this up earlier. Sorry, give me 1 second. Sure. There you go. So this is actually straight from Godard's website. So this is where domain Godard is, right? This is Cote de P right here. So you can kind of see it. So these are different kind of her holdings, different vineyards. Obviously, she has vineyards right around her estate, but then she's got some in Cote de P, and then right here is basically where our wines come from, the Corcelette. So she's got 3 different parcels within Corcelette, and then the wines for today comes from here. And you can kind of see, you know, we talked about Chirouble from last week being the highest, on average, highest elevation of all the crus. And you can kind of see on a topographical map how kind of how much elevation there is it going up. But here, you know, you see 480, 520, 400 meters. But here we're talking about 350 to 380 meter kind of elevation, right? And of course, that is where we are. So the volcanic soil here is also really rich in iron. So all the kind of vineyards here are south and southeast facing. So think about all of that, right? So you got the southeast facing, which means ton of sunlight, a lot of UV rays, helps with the ripening. Also the clay in the soil helps it with that kind of plush fruit expression. But then all that volcanic, manganese-rich, iron-rich content gives it a lot of the kind of mineral backbone. So when you're talking about Morgon, we're talking about in general, obviously it depends on where it's from. There are outliers at different sites, but in general, when we're talking about Morgon, we're talking about darker berries, right? So black fruit, black plum, rather than red berries, you know, cranberries and strawberries. And then a lot of mineral backbone. So, and then we talk about that when we get into this tasting this wine. There's a lot of minerality running through here, and a lot more structure, meaning a lot more tannin in the wine. So in general, it's kind of the more quote unquote serious wines of the Beaujolais. These are definitely much more ageable, kind of age-worthy kind of wines. In fact, like, yeah, when I tasted this wine, I was like, whoa, this is definitely cut from kind of a different cloth or fabric, so to speak, from a lot of other ones that come through, because there's just so much that mineral and then the structural core that kind of holds it all together here. All right, let's talk about who makes this wine. This is a lady, Godard, walking through her vineyards, old vines. But yeah, here's another picture of her. Born in South Korea. I actually did not know she was South Korean. That she was Chinese descendant, or background was Chinese, ethnicity was Chinese, but she's actually Korean. But she was adopted by a French couple when she was a baby back in 1977. She spent her childhood and adolescence around Lyon, in Lyon, so right south of Beaujolais, very close to Beaujolais, and then studied biochemistry in school in France. Then she headed to Oregon State to earn a master's degree in food and science technology. Then she returned back in 2003 to France, to Montpellier, to study enology. Then she worked various roles within the wine industry. She apprenticed for Dominique Lafon, which is a pretty reputable Burgundy producer in Burgundy, amongst other producers. I could not verify this, but some sites said that she worked alongside Marcel Lapierre, which doesn't make sense to me because she's much younger. But maybe Marcel Lapierre's children, maybe what they meant was that she maybe spent some time working at the Lapierre domain. But anyways, but I couldn't really verify it. There was some kind of two different information on the internet. And then she also worked wine sales in Burgundy. But then she finally came across this great opportunity in 2013, where one of the retiring winemakers in Morgon was selling off 5 hectares of vineyards that you saw on that map earlier. Those 3 parcels in Corcelette, 2 around the estate, and then another place, so totaling about 5 hectares. And this is one of the vineyards that she came across, which is an average age of 79-year-old Gamay vines. So she came across not only, as somebody who has not really made her name as a winemaker, but she came across an opportunity to buy basically premium vineyards within Beaujolais. Very well-known Morgon in general, but even within Morgon, to get these plots within Corcelette and there are 3 others, the Grand Cross and Côte de Pie, with the 80-year-old vines is a pretty rare opportunity for her to come across. So she pulled her money together from her friends and family, bought the property, and then she was on her own in 2013. And she just kind of put it all together, and she really pulled all the money together and then built everything from ground up starting in 2013. At the beginning, she was kind of afraid about organic farming just because of the rot and fungus kind of risk that she had in these vineyards. But over time, just working in Beaujolais and being surrounded by these natural wine guys, she started moving towards organic. So currently, she farms completely organically in all of her vineyards, all 5 hectares, no herbicides, no pesticides, all hand harvested. And she's also working on fully converting all of her vineyards to biodynamic, is what she's up to now. So what is this wine? I couldn't find like a really good tech sheet, like a separate tech sheet, but it seems like she makes a lot of her wines the similar way, regardless of what site it comes from. So this 100% Gamay from the Corcelette Ludi in Morgon. Average vine age here is 79 years old, like I mentioned. Harvest by hand. 2023 was a warm vintage, so there's a lot of kind of a plushness and a fruit expression here, which was a very dramatic contrast to the 2021 vintage that I tasted of her. So I did not expect this kind of plushness to come through, but it was quite good. Mostly whole cluster, 40% is destemmed. I always thought her wines were all Burgundian. But I actually was wrong. From what I've researched now, she makes all of hers pretty semi-carbonic, but even semi-carbonic, she doesn't do everything whole cluster. She keeps some of it destemmed, so that's where some of that Burgundian influence comes in, but she's not 100% Burgundian, meaning, she does macerates it with no carbonic. So she does put some carbonic, so this is semi-carbonic with a 40% destemmed in concrete and cement vats. Classic, Beaujolais winemaking. Then she ages it 10 to 12 months in combination of neutral oak barrels, demi-muits, which are a little bigger barrels, not as big as Foudre, but a little bit bigger barrels. And then she blends them all together and spends 1 month in tank to make sure that everything kind of melts together. Then everything is bottled, unfiltered, unfined, just a touch of SO2, just what you would expect from kind of natural Beaujolais producer. So yeah, that's what we got here. But yeah, sorry, I could not find, I looked everywhere. I asked the importer, I asked my rep, but we could not come up with any actual tech sheet to get a sense of really what happened here. But yeah, so she kind of does this kind of sandwich format where she puts some of the vines whole cluster, and then she layers in destemmed fruit, and then she layers in whole cluster. So it's kind of like, it is semi-carbonic because those berries, even the destemmed fruit is going in there uncrushed. So they're still staying in there, but then it's separated by whole cluster berries. So you get a little bit of both worlds. That's basically what you get. Cool. Any questions about any of that before we taste the wine?
I have one question.
Yep.
So she pooled her family and friends' money. Like, it doesn't strike me that my family and friends have enough money for me to buy 5 hectares in
I
Morgon.
don't know.
Like what is her? I mean, is she just?
When was the last time you asked, Charles?
I mean, I guess it depends on how much it is. I'm thinking this is like millions of dollars.
I have no idea. I don't know what 5 hectares in a premium we're going goes
Come
for in
on,
20
everybody
or went
cashing
for in
their
2013.
401k. Like it's totally responsible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great investment opportunity. The only things that can go wrong are climate change, hail, bad winters, acts of God, tariffs.
Yeah. Over a
Apparently Gen Z
reduction in
not
wine
drinking
consumption.
anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But she made it happen back in 2012, 2013. So any other questions? Cool. Let's taste it. Who wants to take the appearance? Come on.
I'll go for appearance. I'll take the easy one.
All right.
Like, I feel like my glass is slightly foggy. So I'm going to say clear, although mine is ever so slightly hazy, but I think that's because I didn't fully wash, get all the fog off the glass.
I mean, also, this wine is not filter refined, and you can
Yeah.
tell. Like, this is not a translucent,
Okay.
wine. So for sure.
Okay. I'd say the color is deep. And we're gonna go. I'd say ruby, but it has slight purple undertones to me too.
Agreed. Agreed. I think there's definitely some like a bluish thing. I would still call this ruby myself, but yeah, there's definitely some bluish tinge to it. And I just wanted to make a note. I would agree with your call in deep. Like I can't see anything through my wine. Um, but and I just make a note about that. Like this is the first time I think we've like squarely called deep. There are other ones that we call like it's somewhere between medium and deep. It's like, but it's the first time in Beauj 2026 that we've called deep. And unless you're talking about like full carbonic Morgon, in general, these kind of particularly destem macerated the wines that have gone through some macerations was gonna give more color. Those two, the reason I also bring that up is so there are two crews this year, Juliana's and this one are the ones that we called out. The Juliana was the other one we call out almost too deep, and that was also the one that was destemmed, and this is the one that was partially destemmed as well. So all that destemming makes the juice spend more time in contact with the skins, as opposed to if there are whole bunches, then the juices kind of flows through and moves down. So that's why. So anytime you see a destemmed wine, the chances are you're going to see a little more extraction, basically. So expect a little more fruit, tannin, as well as a color. All right. Any other observations? Any sediments, bubbles, or anything?
I'm not seeing anything else. I don't see any sediment in mine.
Yep. All good on mine too. Good job. You get to pick the next person for the nose.
All right, I'll tap it. I'll tap Charles for that.
Okay. I haven't talked to Susan in a year. She's already picking on me.
They're on her under the bus. They're on him under the bus already.
The wine has no faults. It's not squeaky clean, but it's pretty clean.
Exactly. Wine is sound.
It's
but you can tell
it's 80% clean.
Yeah, this is not like some squeaky clean wine. Yeah, exactly.
But it's not super funky. So I first smelled it and I was like, I don't know, maybe it's like just the high side of medium, low side of medium plus. But actually, now that I've got it, it's definitely medium plus for me on intensity, but it's the aroma that's coming through is not like a punch you in the face aroma. So it's like a subtle medium plus, but definitely medium plus.
Yeah.
I'm like 2.5 inches off the glass.
I'm like here. So yeah, that's like 2. Yeah, I'm going to call this medium plus myself. Medium plus aromas. Ooh,
like maybe a little something floral in here. It's not strongly floral. Maybe it's like a little, I don't know, kind of lilac-y or something, like a kind of a bluish flower of some
Yeah.
sort.
Totally. Yeah, like violet, blue iris. Yeah, something.
It's not quite to crush rose petal.
Yeah.
But it's,
Agreed.
it's something a little bit subtle and dried, kind of.
Yep. Agreed.
Um,
Grapefruit, citrus, no?
no green fruit. There is almost sort of like a tiny little hint of a citrus oil, kind of, but just very, very faint.
Okay.
Getting mostly red and black fruit. So darker side of red. So I could maybe get to raspberry or like a very ripe red cherry.
Yep.
Or it's really more like blackberry, black plum, a lot of plum fruit on this.
Yep. Exactly.
Maybe red currant or black currant.
Yeah, to me,
I'll be honest, the difference between a red currant and a black currant is not in my wheelhouse. So
yeah, to me, this is like so much on the blacker side of the spectrum in terms of fruit expression. Yeah, like I mean, just
bramble,
black cherry, black plum, like all of that everywhere.
I mean, it's a ripe, round fruit, but it's not really. I wouldn't say it's like got any sort of dried, cooked fruit note particularly. It's fresh fruit, but it's it's almost 100% ripe fresh fruit.
Exactly. Really ripe, really plush. And this is what I mean by like that plush ripe fruit. It's that just 2023 vintage was a really warm vintage. And then it kind of comes through. Like you can see that how plush and ripe these fruits are. Yeah, like 21, when I tasted her wines in 21, it was the same location. And the fruit profile was completely different. It was like really unripe black, some red, more red. It was kind of like that brambly, somewhere between red and black. The fruit character was so unripe, and then there's just
I think I bought a case of 21. I think I had the 21s also. From 3 or 4 of her different sites, and it just wasn't. It wasn't as like dynamic out of the glass. Like it was kind of like static, and it didn't have that sort of like tangy zippiness on the nose. It was sort of like, okay, it's a red wine. It was just it wasn't quite it, and it never evolved. As long as it was in the bottle, I think I may still have a couple. It never got much. It may have gotten a little better, but it never really got better with age.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I bought some.
I remember craving the fruit. I remember craving the ripeness when I was tasting it. So to taste this now is so different. And then I can only credit that to the warmth of the vintage. Because it's wine is made the same way. Okay. Any herbaceous, any herbal, spice?
Nothing herbaceous. Maybe a slight herbal note, something just ever so slightly fennel-y.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's not eucalyptus, but it's kind of lives in between fennel and eucalyptus, but it's like it's pretty subtle. I get a little peppery note on this, like kind of little white pepper or something like that.
Yeah, like a turn or two of pepper.
And definitely minerality is pretty strong on this.
Yeah, just like a crushed rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
All that. Cool. Any secondary, any tertiary?
I mean, some of the things I called are potentially oak influence. So I guess maybe you could get some of the spiciness, some of the like herbal stuff, maybe could be oak influence, but not particular. I don't know, maybe a little, it's not going all the way to chocolate and coffee, but some of that like round, rich fruit could also be oak influence.
I was just gonna say, I get a little bit of like this cocoa nibs, not like chocolate, but like when you get the cacao beans. So I get a little bit of that here, but that just may be me thinking this wine is dark. But yeah,
and
yeah, but in general, even as a 2023, it's still, it's still very young, very fresh. Like to me, there's no tertiaries peeking through. This is still squarely in this category right here, up here. Cool. You get to pick the next person for the palette.
Any volunteers? Dana will do it. I bet Dana will do it. See her leaning forward. Hi, Dana.
Are leaning in.
Leaning in like Sheryl Sandberg. I don't think this is what she meant.
Dana, you are unmuted, but we can't hear you.
Oh, now you're there.
We heard you for a second.
Not anymore.
Yep. No? Yes? You're muted now.
There we go. Sorry.
There
I
you go.
don't know what's wrong with my iPad. I can't get the anyways, sorry. So you are going, let me find the sheet. There it is. Okay. I was saying before I was trying to go for the appearance so that I didn't have to go for this because I never get this right. But so I think this is dry in terms of sweetness, like when I
Bone dry.
bone dry.
Acidity.
Like medium plus. Agree?
Yeah, I'm gonna land on medium, kind of high end of medium. Sorry, with the medium,
Yeah.
medium plus, but I think I'll put medium. I'm thinking it's not lacking. Like I feel the
No.
acid. Yeah, but it's not like screaming.
I
Tannin.
think, yeah, I think the tannin is definitely high, medium plus.
Yeah, there's some tannin here. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go with the at least medium on this thing. It's definitely chewy.
Yeah.
It's got some grip for sure. And again, that's very typical Morgon, particularly from this area, Corcelette, Côte de Pie, Grand Craft. I mean, it's just that's exactly what they're known for.
Right.
Really structured, at least again, high end of medium. Yeah, some of it medium.
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol.
Alcohol. So I don't have the bottle in front of me, but I think it's like 12, 13, 12, 13.
Little warm to me. Maybe like 13, somewhere up there. 13
13?
is what it says on the bottle. Yeah, it feels like I would probably call 13.5. It seems a little hot.
Yep.
But like, it's not out of ordinary for, I mean, it's still within the range for Beaujolais. But, 2023 being warm vintage, maybe it got a little bit hotter than usual, so 13.5. But that's still within the medium range, high end of medium. It's kind of where we are. Body.
Body, I think is medium.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think it's like super heavy. Like I don't think it's even, I think it's medium, like maybe high end of medium, but like medium.
Agree. I'm gonna go with the medium as well. It's got some weight.
Mhm.
Musso, we don't have to talk about flavor intensity.
I think really like medium plus.
Yeah.
I think
Medium
there's
plus
like
as well.
definitely got the, some, in terms of the freshness and the red fruit, like it's pronounced.
Yeah, it's expressive. It's not lacking in terms of intensity. Do you confirm everything that Charles called out? Is there anything else?
Confirm. No, I definitely, I was going to say, I don't get like you said, like maybe slightly the cacao or something. I don't get that. I get super red, like.
You got red.
But not high, but no high, not high tone. Like it's like, deep red.
Yeah, like a dark, like a kind
Yeah,
of what Charles
like
was saying, like really ripe, like
yeah,
red cherry or black raspberry, things like that.
yeah.
I actually feel like it's redder on the palate as well, like blacker on the nose than
Mm.
it is on the palate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree with you. I think I was getting on the nose, maybe slightly something kind of black, but on the kind of tasting it, it's just red to me.
Yeah, I mean, I can see there's a lot more lift here than like
Hmm.
it's hard to feel the lift on the nose.
Yeah.
But just tasting it, and obviously there's a function of all the acid and all of it. Like the
Right.
fruit character
Yeah.
here is still dark to me. Like it's still a lot of like black fruit and plum and all of that. But
Hmm. Hmm.
there's it's dark while being lifted. There's a really
Yeah.
elegant kind of a lift to the wine, aliveness to the wine, and I think a lot of that is that the acid that's coming in here, and
Yeah.
just incredible balance of all the things. Like
Well,
there's
even in the time that I've had it, because I, kind of put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. But I actually, because I was so tired, I like decanted it at first. And then I was like, oh shit, I was supposed to put it in the fridge and then decant. But I decanted it, then put it back into the bottle, put it in the fridge, and then decanted it again. And I don't know, like even since sitting here, it's like gotten less tight.
mm,
It's like, smoother
yeah,
almost.
yeah, 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 yeah. This
Maybe
wine is
that's from two
definitely
decantings that it's just kind of like,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely. No, this wine is definitely be benefits from some decanting and oxygen for sure.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, in general, kind of everything that Charles called out is hitting it just right
Yes.
for me as well.
Yep.
Like a little bit of violet,
Yeah.
mostly black fruit, maybe touch of red fruit, but really ripe red fruit. I get a little bit like a licorice kind of a thing. I do get some like savory black licorice kind of a thing here. Maybe that's what Charles was talking about. What did you call it, Charles? Not eucalyptus, but you call
Like little fennel.
The
yeah. So
fennelly part.
fennel,
Yeah.
black licorice, like that kind of thing. I do get a little bit of that. That turn or two of spice, pepper, absolutely.
Hmm.
Ton of just crushed.
I think if you get the spice, it's like at the end.
Yeah.
You
Totally.
know what I
Like
mean?
very subtle.
But it's super subtle.
Yeah, very subtle. Still, it's all about that kind of like to me, what this wine is the core at the core of it is the acid and the minerality. And
Yeah.
on top of it is just like really plush like and ripe black fruit.
Hmm.
And then there's just sprinkles of like black licorice, of pepper, different things.
Maybe it's the
So
bramble of the black fruit,
yeah, like
that like a
it's
woody, not wood, but yeah.
yeah. Um, I can tell also just by tasting it, just on the texture, like the mouth feel of the wine, like this. It's got a lot of tannin, it's got
Mhm.
acid, but like it's very silky. It's very velvety and smooth, and I think a lot of that is also the additional a year that is spent in barrels as opposed to
Mhm.
cement and other things. Just kind of rounds the wines out. So yeah, really nice. Any
All right.
secondary, any tertiary?
No,
Excellent.
not me. I think it's super fresh. And
Finally, the length. How long is the finish?
I think the finish is kind of medium plus. Like it's
I don't know. Mine's still going. Yeah, I'm gonna call this medium plus. I mean,
yeah.
mine just keeps going. Still,
Mm-hmm.
it hits me initially with all that like black fruit,
Mm-hmm.
violet, and then all that kind of the non-fruit things like the spices,
Yeah.
the minerality, all that kind of sticks around. Just cool. All right, bring it home for us. How good is this wine, and would you age it?
All right. So I think we gave it, we gave it up at the top. The appearance is strong, clear. Nose is, I but I think there were mediums and medium pluses throughout the entire,
Well,
So,
let's walk through it. So,
yeah,
do you think this one is balanced? First and
yes,
foremost? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
if anything else,
Absolutely.
what I'm really absolutely impressed and in love with this one is the balance. Like everything
Yeah.
seems so harmonious and well balanced here. Balance. Intensity wise, we called it
Yeah.
medium plus on the nose.
Yeah.
You called it medium plus on the palate. So
Mhm.
medium plus intensity. Complexity, we had flour, we had black fruit, some red fruit, we had the pepper, we had black licorice or fennel, some sort of like a savory thing. Um, maybe like cocoa nibs or some bunch of crushed rock and minerality. So we call out a bunch of things in complexity, not necessarily hugely in the secondary or tertiary, but
Right.
a lot of different things. So I'll call that at least medium, you know. And then length, you called it medium plus.
Hmm.
So when you take an average of all of that, got balance, medium plus intensity, medium, high, medium, higher end of medium of complexity, and then medium plus length. So
Yep.
when you take an average of all of that,
think
we
it's
get
like-
medium plus.
Yeah, I think very good.
We call it very good. Now, would you age this?
Yes.
Yeah. I think this is
With the acidity,
absolutely,
yeah. Yep.
absolutely
The tannin, yeah.
I think this wine is like right now, even at its youth, I think it's completely approachable and I think it's a beautiful wine as it is right now. But given the high end of medium, bordering on medium plus tannin, same degree of acidity, strong backbone, we have medium plus intensity on both on the nose and the palate. So good core, the intensity, a lot of things to work with. And then everything is just like this wine, what makes this wine delicious right now is not just the freshness. It's actually, there's so many different layers that are kind of balanced and harmonious and in there. So by aging it, all that plush fruit, the black ripe core is going to develop into non-fruit things, adding more layers. And I think that's what's going to develop even more. So I think this is an excellent candidate for aging. How long would you age this for?
I mean, and some of the other Beauj, the wines in the Beauj box, you were saying 3 to 5. I mean, this could, I think, go a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
I don't know, 10, 7, 10.
Yeah, I think this is easily 5 to 8, but
5 to 8.
potentially up to
Okay.
10 years. Even now, so this is 2023, so this already got 3 years on it. And I'm saying starting now, at least 5 to 8, another 5 to 8
Yep.
years. I'm looking at it. So I think this is a excellent bottle to get a feel, lay down, and then come back and chat maybe to 3-6 years. This is the kind of stuff that I guarantee you, if you came back in 10 years and we tasted it or opened the bottle, you'd be like, holy shit, Beaujolais can age.
Are we going to be doing this wine club that long that we're going to be
I mean, this suggestion has happened that anything that I call out longer than 5 years, I should just get a case of it.
Right?
Well, I mean, we've been going a while, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, we're in year 6. So had I collected all the things I call out 5 or above in year 1, we could be doing a 5.
I have a wine fridge now because of you, Moon. So,
Yeah. A lot of people in the wine club got that right. Cool. Good job, everyone. Did you guys like this one?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
It's so good. Like it's not only just delicious, but it is a serious fucking wine. Like it is a really well crafted wine. Definitely.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like the more I drink, I'm getting like a little bit of bitterness on the finish.
Oh, that's right. That's what I meant to actually say on the thing. Definitely, there's a phenolic bitterness.
No, yeah, but it's not whole cluster ferment. So is it just skin contact? Phenolic is like just the fruit itself.
Yeah, I think
it's not completely phenolically right.
Yeah, I think it's a tannin. Honestly, I think it's a tannin. I mean, we called it high end of medium, almost bordering on medium plus tannin. It's gonna whenever there's high tannin, you are gonna get it.
I mean,
Yeah.
this wine of all the wines we've tasted so far, this is the one that's been the most grippy,
Yeah,
like in
100%.
terms of tannin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Like it's just still hanging out there. Like,
it's got some
Yeah.
grip to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is so far the grippiest of all the ones that we've tasted this year, for sure, for sure. Cool. Well,
oh right,
let's play everybody's favorite game. How much do you think this wine is on a retail shelf, and how much would you be happy paying for this on a retail shelf? Called it very good, 5 to 8 year potential, already 3-year age, 2023 vintage. Internationally acclaimed winemaker, or like a bit of a star. How much? $36, $35, $35, $32. Wow, you guys are in for a shock.
oh no.
$45, $35,
Yeah.
$40. This in a retail shop would be $54.
Okay.
So
But I mean, what was the other one that was 52 or something? It was the
yeah,
like a couple of weeks ago. It
the
was
Fleury,
the
the
Fleury was 52.
Yeah. That was also up there. So Fleury and this were the two most expensive ones
Yeah.
in this year's box. Both of them, basically what you guys listed right there, 36, 35, is my wholesale cost, to give you an idea.
So here's a data point. I bought this wine in April 1st, 2024, exactly 2 years ago. And for the Corcelette, which was a 2019 at that time, I paid $32 a bottle.
Yep.
So now it's, what was that?
56, 54.
56?
$22 more.
54.
It's one whole
it's
bottle
like
of wine.
70% more.
Yeah. And the 36 was the Côte du Py was 36, the Moulin Vent was 36, and the Fleury, oh, that's a different one. I got those three. So 32, 36, 36. So I wrote 36 knowing that the top I paid was 36. And that's what I would be happy paying because it's how much it should cost based on inflation not being 35% a year.
Right.
Exactly. Well, so to your earlier question about she pulled money from friends and family, maybe this is how she pays them that, by charging the 54. So
I also feel like the first Flurry, because I ordered them from you from the first Beauj box, weren't they like 30 or $35? Like they weren't that expensive. Damn.
Yep. That's what I'm talking about. Shit is getting crazy.
Oh, how much of that is Beaujolais versus just everything? Like, do we need to find the next undiscovered wine region? Because this one got a little discovered.
You know, it's funny because I was talking about this with a sales rep of mine, which is another oldie, old time, wine professional. And it's like, dude, like, what's the new, like, if you're a song that's coming up in the game now, like, what's their Cru Beaujolais? Like for us, Cru Beaujolais was that. Like we found all the value, it was delicious, and you could find a bottle of under $25 retail, right? But like, what wine is there where the young broke sommelier can fucking get a really good, decent bottle from? Like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Like even Sicily, there's a good value, but like, fuck, you're not finding under $25.
Does it have to be something that's getting exported? Or are we at the part where like nobody was bringing Beaujolais into the United States until Louis Dressner did? Like, are we at like what?
No, Beaujolais still comes in. It's still.
I know it still does, but it didn't so much in like 1970.
Yeah, right.
My sister went wine tasting in Mexico recently in their wine region, and like she's like, it's not Napa. Let's set our expectations, but. It's like it's at least at solid Virginia level wine, so maybe it'll.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd say Portugal.
I mean, Portugal is definitely, there's a huge value there. Chile, there's a huge value there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they just have not.
The wine store.
Yeah, they. It's just that they have not. It's not only the value itself, but the beautiful thing about Beaujolais is that it's like kind of what we're doing, Beauj box, because the French have been doing it for so long. They've like, demarcated lines, like the reason why these 10 crus are different. You know, even within each crew, there are different ludites and different parcels, and you can really like explore around that. But like Chile doesn't have that. Portugal doesn't have that. You know, they just haven't been doing it as long. Like they just haven't studied that particular region for hundreds of years for them to like draw out wines. You
I
know, so
feel
it's
like that's like I feel like that's cultural though. I don't think it's so much. I mean, sure they've been doing it for a long time, but that's just something that the French excel at. The French excel at being like,
100%.
oh, you don't understand. I mean, I was in France for a month with the host family, and I've been there many times aside from that. But when I lived with the host family, they just like told me how things were supposed to be all the time. They're just
Yeah.
like, no, we, you know, it wasn't like we do it like this. Why don't you give it a try? I was like, this is how it's done. Like they served mussels with French fries, and they were like, your first mussel,
very French.
you should pick your first mussel carefully because it's the mussel you use to grab all the other mussels. That's how it's done. And I was like, I mean, that's a good idea, but like, that's French, right? Portuguese people are never going to be like, we have 10 regimented wine regions, and if you don't, if you're not in the 1855 classification, you can never be on it. Like nobody else in the
The
world.
cynical part of me also thinks because they get to have the geographical indicator attached to a lot of it that they're like, yeah, we're in the wine region, we're Burgundy, and nobody else in the world gets to have
100%.
And
I mean, like,
sue
think
you if
about
you
what
do.
cultures are like that. There's more of them, but like, then think about which cultures are really good at like hierarchical rule following and exclusivity and have good wine production. Like Portuguese wine is really good, but they're just not like Portugal's not like that. They're like, yeah, man, like we're making some weird shit. If you want to get in on this, I've got some in my garage.
Yeah.
Like that's just not the ethos of France, right?
Agreed. I mean, you know, it's not even the French people. I feel like it's like the monks that were there, you know, that really started dividing all these things up.
Could be.
But yeah, so I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know, Janet. I don't know where the next Beaujolais is.
I could do a Carmenere box. Like I discovered Carmenere a couple of years ago, and like I dig it.
No.
Yeah,
I could not do a whole box of Carmenere. Just
well, that's the other thing about Beauj.
Merlots.
It's like the perfect number of crews in the. It's
So-
like it is pretty epic, but it
I
is
thought about
disappointing when
this.
I'm like go into a store now and I'm like the one region I know, and then it's like everything's $50, and you're like, this is not how it was when we started.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's getting crazy out there.
I would say it's one of the greatest disappointments of the last couple of years for me, but there are other things that top that list. So
there are real things that top the list, but it's the top of the list of things that actually don't matter.
This should be your sales pitch room for like Case Club and everything, being like, dude, look at how much like Flurry
gotta buy now.
from 30 to 50. Like you guys should just buy cases now. Come on.
You know? I mean, talk about first world country problems we're having right now. You know, just like Beaujolais is getting too expensive. You're like, shit.
Yeah. After I was corrected on that once when somebody said to me like, oh, what's a first world problem versus a third world problem? I have now taken to calling them champagne problems.
All right. Anyways, there it is.
There's a Hallmark movie called, I think it's called Champagne Problems.
Now they're Beaujolais problems, apparently.
And the Taylor Swift song, obviously.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, to your point, and to all of that, you know, like to tie it all back into this particular wine, like, is this worth $56? I don't know. You know, is it the most age-worthy one that we've had so far? Maybe in this box, all of it. Perhaps it's definitely up there as a candidate, but you know, at what point is it worth it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but also like 5 years ago, if you had asked me, is it worth $50? I would have said no, because I could get like a Duckhorn Merlot for $50 or whatever. Like, you know, pick your bottle. That's probably $100 now. So like,
Yeah.
I would say that this isn't crazy at 56 or 54 or 56. What is it?
54.
54. It's not crazy, but it's just you can get a lot of good wine for 50. I mean, that's the thing.
Exactly.
It used to be you could get better wine out of this region for the same price, and you can't anymore. So it just doesn't feel like a deal. So then you think, okay, well, what do I feel like drinking? I usually felt like drinking Beaujolais because it was a good deal, but now I feel like drinking Italian wine because it's a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, also quite frankly for me, like I personally enjoy much lighter red berry driven style of Beaujolais than this Beaujolais. That's what I really tend towards. So I mean, that's not to say one is better than the other. It all depends on your preference. But yeah, this just seems. I, I knew it was way expensive out there, but I was like, I've been fucking chasing this producer for 3 years, and I finally got it. Like, I cannot not buy it. So so.
Hey, you know who's not that expensive still, I think, is Bachelard, another female winemaker in Beaujolais. I think that wine hasn't gone up quite as much. And that wine actually is consistently better than this wine.
Okay.
I forget.
I thought this year's is it Chenas or Shu, the Pauline Paso. I don't know if you guys had that one yet, but I think in terms of a bang for your buck, I think that wine punches way above its price point.
Yeah, I listened to that. Like 2 nights ago, and tasted it or drank it.
Yeah.
And I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's so good.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
I like this stew. I like this stew, but I like that a lot.
This is very good. I'm not saying like this one is beautiful.
I mean, it's just $55 can buy you a lot of wines, and like,
Yeah,
is this the wine I would pick for $55?
Precisely. Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, so the Bachelard, if you guys want to, I haven't had this vintage, but if you want to get it, apparently you can get it at about 43 to 45 bucks a bottle for a 2022 Fleury, and the producer's really good. That's a good wine. I mean, I doubt anybody's gonna take a flyer on it for 43 bucks a bottle, but like, I've had multiple vintages and multiple accrues from this producer, and they're uniformly fantastic. They're really, really good.
Look, I took multiple flyers when Marty would just tell me something was good and I would buy it. So, I'll follow along.
If you lived here, Susan, I could split a couple of cases with you and we could save on shipping, but
now you have to ship me olive oil and vinegar sets.
indeed.